Speaker, with total transparency, I must confess that one of the reasons that I am so motivated and so passionate about this subject is that for the past 15 years, out of sight and out of mind, in a corner of my congressional district that most people did not know even existed, some 400 engineers, technicians, and support personnel have worked to bring the vision of petroleum-free transportation and independence from imported petroleum to reality. Tonight and tomorrow and hopefully into the future, the engineers and the technicians at the Hanoi Falls Advanced Fuel Cell Research and Development Facility have brought the future today. Their leader, Mr. Matthew Franck, a man who will soon retire from his position and seek a leadership role in academia, is to be commended for his vision and for his leadership. And it is not he alone, because it is a classic example of the ability of private industry, in this case, General Motors, a company often maligned and much in the press, who has brought to the nation a unique, forward-looking capability that no other nation in the world today has. And yet, we are at the cusp of losing that. Right when we have the future in our hands, brought to us by hardworking and highly educated, incredibly passionate and dedicated technicians and engineers, we are about to surrender it, as we surrendered battery technologies, as we surrendered hybrid technologies. So, Madam Speaker, allow me to conclude by reading an article that appeared in CNN Money magazine just last week. It's titled, "The Hydrogen Car Fights Back." President Obama is betting on biofuels and batteries, but that isn't stopping some automakers from investing in hydrogen-fueled cars. As it appeared in Fortune magazine, I quote, "The valley of death is auto industry speak. It is a metaphorical desert where emerging technologies reside while car executives figure out which of the experiments ought to make their way into actual cars. Every automotive leap forward has done time in the valley. Turbochargers, fuel injections, even gasoline-electric hybrids like Toyota's Prius. Hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, the alternative energy flavor of the month back in 2003, are the ones languishing today, along with hovercraft and other assorted concept cars. But perhaps not for much longer. A number of automakers are now renewing their push for hydrogen, and now it is looking as though hydrogen cars will make its way out of this conceptual vehicular valley of death. Last month, Daimler, the German government, and several industrial companies announced a plan to build 1,000 hydrogen fuel cell stations across Germany. Days later, Daimler CEO Dieter Zetsche showed off Mercedes-Benz's latest hydrogen fuel cell effort, the F-Cell hatchback. Toyota this summer announced it would put hydrogen fuel cell cars into production by 2015. Honda, GM, and Hyundai all have hydrogen fuel cell programs running, and Honda has actually put vehicles, heavily subsidized by the car maker to be sure, in the hands of some real customers, as opposed to its own engineers. Parenthetically, GM today is focusing most of its energy on plug-in hybrid Chevy Volt, but the company still says it expects to have fuel cell technology ready for commercialization by 2015. Madam Speaker, as we debate the great issues of the day, and there are many to debate, we hear them on the floor of this House every afternoon and every evening, be it national foreign policy issues that weigh heavily on our minds in Iraq and Afghanistan, whether it be a contentious debate about health care. Allow us not to lose the vision of the future. Allow us not to do what has been done before. Allow us not to forget and give away the decades of advancement and work that have accomplished so much in this very focused area of technological development that holds so much promise, not only for the automotive fuel sector, but for energy independence. We speak on the floor of the House in great and grand and umbrella-arching metaphors, and yet now it is time to speak of specifics. And so, Madam Speaker, I thank you that for this last hour, I was given the opportunity to highlight a specific technology that holds so much promise. Because back home, at the Hanaway Falls Research and Development Facility, it can truly be said that not often in history have so few done so much for all of us. Madam Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back.